Joining us is Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State and Chairman of the Northern Governors Forum. We're talking to him with regards to the meeting held earlier today. We'd like to thank you, Your Excellency, for joining us on the News at 10. I'd like to begin with your meeting today, which appeared to have centered on the NSAS protests and their fallout. Were you satisfied with the outcome of the meeting?
Well, very well. Thank you very much. And I'm very satisfied with the outcome of this meeting. And the meeting was also a continuation of engagement, because you recall that a week ago, we had a meeting here in Kaduna when the NSAS was going and getting very, very serious. So we had a meeting and came out with a communique. And part of the communique was continuous engagement. And so and also in continuous engagement, we agreed that we are going to engage the traditional rulers, religious leaders, and all stakeholders, critical stakeholders in the north. So it was in furtherance of this that we scheduled a meeting today, and we came out with a very useful suggestions and a communique. And all the northern leaders, including the members, the National Assembly leadership, those of them from the north, and many of the National Assembly members were all there. The Chief of Staff to the President was there. The traditional rulers were also represented by were also led by His Eminence, the Sultan. And so in that meeting, we all agreed to also go back and still continue with engagement, and particularly addressing the issues of the NSAS, because we are also trying to avoid a second wave of NSAS if we don't address some of those issues that are on ground, particularly to also prevail on people not to engage in destructions, because the NSAS protest was hijacked by hoodlums and criminals, which led to several destructions, and which we also set up a two committee. We set up two committees, one youth and civil society committees to continue to engage with with the youth, and the other one was realizing the roles of traditional rulers, especially for North. They listen to the traditional rulers and also religious leaders. So we now agree that we're going to engage a lot of our traditional rulers and religious leaders, and who will also be interfacing on behalf of government with the youth.
A good thing you mentioned the role of traditional rulers, leaders, because you did discuss that they should be involved in the architecture of governance. But, I mean, the Constitution, for example, doesn't give them a clear role. And we also understand or know that traditional leaders were not able to stem what we saw, the events of the last few weeks. So what do you think happened? Why do you think there was that gap?
No, yes, because there's this absence of also constitutional rules backing them. And because of that, this committee that was set up is not only going to look on issues of answers, it's going to also look at the possibility of proposing an amendment to the Constitution that will also favor traditional rulers, and will also give traditional rulers a very good role, a clear role in administration, like we used to do in the former northern state, northern Nigerian region. We give them that role of playing that role of interfacing and also addressing especially issues of security. So we are making preparation to propose an amendment to the Constitution, because the constitutional amendment is already going on. That's why you saw the Senate President is there, Deputy Speaker is there, and leadership of the National Assembly who are from the North.
A number of people are saying that there is a high level of disparity between the rich and the poor, which fuel the events also of the last couple of weeks. How are the governors planning to tackle poverty in the region? And that is, if you agree, that is a problem.
Well, I will say also that is actually part of the fallout of the NSAS protest. And nobody is doubting, nobody is also saying that initially that the protest was wrong, but then the fact that it was hijacked by hooligans to also destroy public properties and the private properties was a matter of great concern. Now, what we are trying to do is to get back to the drawing board again and close the gap between the communication gap between the leaders and the led and the led, so that there will be no answers again, because answers now is used as an avenue to exercise grievances or to reel out grievances. And any attempt now, even in your house, you will hear even your wife will tell you that, yes, if you don't provide this one, I will do answers. So let it not be a culture that we're now taking up down to our children. So what we intend to do, following what the federal government is doing already, is to provide opportunities to start engaging the youth so that they will be taken off the streets.
Quickly, you also agree that social media should be regulated. What exactly are you proposing?
Well, that we also already met at the Governors Forum. We already met with stakeholders at the NEC, and we are also agreeing. We've set up a committee at the NEC under His Excellency, the Vice President. And so that committee is going to make the recommendation, because whether you like it or not, social media is good, but we are seeing the negative aspect of it, very damaging. You sit down and you see people sending messages that are not true, and then people react on the basis of those messages and start destroying properties, start killing human beings, and they will tell you, no, they are killing people. Just as the chairman of Northern Governors, I felt it, because even when we were here, people were bringing pictures, bringing this, they are killing people, killing Northerners in the south. Look at the evidence, and people will put out a woman with a torn stomach and everything, and then there will be reaction. So these are some of the bad effects of social media. And unless it is controlled, we have seen social media being controlled in so many countries. So definitely our own. If this aspect is getting destructive, definitely it requires some kind of control. So that is what we're doing now, waiting for also the outcome of the committee's conclusion, which is also already headed by the Vice President.
Governor of Plateau State and Chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, Simon Lalong, thank you for joining us on the News at 10 tonight.
I'm very grateful. Thank you very much.